No mai, hare mai. Welcome to Porirua Park for round 3 of the Ninja A-League. Wellington Phoenix opened their season with a 1-1 draw against Canberra United at Sky Stadium last weekend, but this week the Knicks are back at their fortress, although they are winless in their last 3 A-League women's games here at Porirua Park. Newcastle Jets are coming off a bye in round 2 after opening their campaign with a 2-1 win over Canberra. The Jets will be looking to win back-to-back away games for the first time since April 2024, but more importantly, they will want to take the 3 points back across the ditch and maintain an unbeaten start to season 25-26. I'm Seamus Martin, joined in commentary by former football fern Priscilla Duncan. And Priscilla, despite the pre-season hype around the new-look Wellington Phoenix, they did look like a work in progress last weekend.
Thanks, Seamus. Yeah, great to be alongside you for this one, and really looking forward to seeing how it plays out at Porirua Park. I think there was a case of perhaps some nerves in that first game from the Wellington Phoenix, but they're right here at home again and probably looking to pick up that 3 points against a Newcastle Jets side who have had a bye, and that can be a little bit hard to start off a season, but no doubt they'll be coming in firing into this one as well. So really looking forward to it.
Well, the previous match at this venue saw Wellington triumph 3-2. Anaya Elliott with 2 goals, including a 98th minute winner. Plenty of changes in the off-season for the home side, including a new coach at the helm for the Newcastle Jets. They've started their season off with a win, and a bit of excitement in their camp as well. Kiwi contingent we'll hear about a little bit later on. Let's check in with the team news, and it's 2 changes for Wellington. Nepalese international Sabitra Bandari is a late withdrawal through injury, replaced by Emma Main. 17-year-old Pia Vlok makes her starting debut in place of Tessa Midag. CJ Bott captains the side from the bottom of a box midfield, and there's a positional change for Alyssa Wynnum, who plays further inside the pitch. Lily Brazendale could be in line to make her debut off the bench, and Ella McMillan comes into the matchday squad. Well, for the Newcastle Jets, just 1 change, and it's club legend Cass Davis returning to skipper the side in place of Claire Adams, who drops to the bench. There is plenty of experience with nearly 500 appearances between Davis, Libby Copus-Brown, Lauren Allen and Melina Ayres. For New Zealand fans, Anna Leet starts in goal, and Charlotte Lancaster scored on her Jets debut against Canberra. On the bench, Callie Brown and Olivia Page. Well, Priscilla, who are you looking forward to seeing today?
Well, I think it's hard to go past CJ Bott, who we see there, proud Wellingtonian. What a story for her to come back and play right close to where she grew up in Tawa, and coming in from Leicester City with all that experience from the Women's Super League. An honour for her to wear the armband. And I guess we've got another Kiwi to look forward to today, an elite in goal for the Newcastle Jets, 24-year-old who will be looking to impress Michael Main, the Ferns coach, with Victoria Essen down in goal for the other end of the field. So a lot of Kiwis to look forward to watching today.
Well, Davis and Bott will lead their respective sides. Wellington in the familiar yellow and black, Newcastle in the away strip of all white. Stephen Hoyle is in his first season as an A-League coach, replacing Ryan Campbell in the Jets' hot seat, and his arrival has sparked something of a Kiwi revolution at the club. New Zealanders Leet, Callie Brown, Olivia Page and Charlotte Lancaster have all joined the club this off-season. Hoyle himself guided Eastern Suburbs to the New Zealand Women's National League title in 2022. Referee in control of the match is Anna-Marie Kiley. She will be assisted by Courtney Bremner and Anastasia Philikoridis. Fourth official is Sarah Jones. Well, Bev Priestman described the opening match as underwhelming, frustrating. She wants her side to be more calm in the chaos of the A-League as the Bevolution continues, as she reshapes the Knicks in her first season in the A-League. Well, the yellow fever are in fine voice. Phoenix in there. Famed black and yellow. It's as though they'll be attacking the goal to the left of your picture. Newcastle attacking the goal to the right. 8th meeting between these two sides. It's the Jets with 5 wins to the Phoenix 2. All in readiness. Much awaited return to Porirua Park. And we are underway, bathed in sunshine in New Zealand's capital. And Elite gets an early touch. Interesting situation with both custodians, New Zealand internationals, named in the most recent Football Ferns squad to take on Australia's Matildas in the international window coming up in a couple of weeks' time. Early look there at Brooke Nunn, league champion from season 24-25, making the move from Central Coast to New Zealand. First look at Emma Main, who will lead the line in Wellington today. Big day too for young Pia Vlock, 17-year-old. Only 5 minutes off the bench last week. Chance to start today. Big raps on her. Here is last week's goal scorer for Wellington, Marissa van der Meer, who starts on the left-hand side of a back three. Plenty of talk through last week about this box midfield, Priscilla.
Yeah, I think we might see these teams sort of matching up with 4 in the middle. Stephen Hoyle is also known to like playing a box 4 in the middle. He's not quite sure, I think, if it's a 4-4-2 or 3-4-3 for Wellington Phoenix in defence, but he says he's ready for both of those options today.
One of the great joys of commentary is trying to work out whether the team formation that's been provided is the one that turns out once the match kicks off. We'll get Priscilla to keep an eye on how these two teams are shaping up. For Wellington fans, there's a central midfield pairing of CJ Bott and Grace Jale. New positions, it should be said, for both these players, experienced internationals. Jale perhaps reinventing herself under Bev Priestman.
I think that's the interesting thing today for me. CJ Bott, we're probably used to seeing her as a fullback for most of her career, but Bev Priestman says she seems to be the heartbeat of this team, playing in the central midfield position, so see how she goes.
A little bit of pressure from Main on Leet. We talked through the week about the Kiwi connection in the Newcastle side. The communication was cut off between the players, who all know each other very, very well. As the first shot on goal sails over the top of Newcastle's net. Pia Vlock with an early sighter.
Yeah, great to see that from the youngster making her first start, and I guess that kind of intent is why she's in this side. We're out without Samba today, who had a late injury, I think, yesterday, so be great time for Pia Vlock to step up and show what she can do.
Early injury concerns for Bev Priestman. Tessa Medag, the Dutch import player, missing from today. Samba, Nepalese international, missing from today, and we're yet to see Lucia Leon as an opportunity here early. And is it off the line? Goal's been given, and it's Brooke Nunn who reels away in celebration, and the Phoenix have an early lead. Well, no VAR. Excellent work on the far side by the assistant referee to signal the goal, and the home side send the Porirua Park faithful into a frenzy early.
What a start for the Phoenix. I think it was tough for them to go down last week, so this is exactly what they would have wanted, to go ahead early. And you see Vlock in the action again. A lovely ball through to Nunn, and she took a pretty good touch and great composure there to slot it home for the Phoenix.
Good first touch to get it out of the feet. And despite the attentions of Lauren Allen, deemed to have crossed the line. Home side take the lead inside 5 minutes. Well, just the start that Bev Priestman would want. First time in front of this crowd here at Porirua Park. They hosted all of the Wellington Phoenix A-League women's games last season here.
Yeah, and it was a bit of an unfortunate goal to go down to the Canberra United side last week, but this one here from Nunn and Emma Main, perhaps just with a bit of pressure there, was quite helpful in the end, and the defender couldn't quite get to it just in time.
Well, fantastic work from Emma Main as well, just to make sure there was enough pressure on the cover defence of Lauren Allen. And this will no doubt encourage Newcastle to come forward and try and get an equaliser early. A week behind against Canberra in that 2-1 win back in round 1. Just wonder, Priscilla, whether maybe the week off, perhaps just stunting momentum for Stephen Hoyle's side.
Yeah, I think so early in the season to have that bye and to have to travel to New Zealand is not easy, whereas the Phoenix had a pretty lucky draw to get these home games to start with. So, yeah, let's see if they can come back on this one. They don't need many chances, this Newcastle side. They're very clinical, and we saw that against Canberra United. So the Phoenix will have to stay very aware.
It's the one match for these two sides against the same opposition. Newcastle was a 2-1 win away at Canberra. Wellington, a 1-1 draw, and already we've seen young Pia Vlock, who not long ago was representing New Zealand at the Under-17 Women's World Cup in Morocco. Missed a large chunk of pre-season. It was a late signing for Priestman's side as well. The noises not only from within the Wellington Phoenix camp, but also within those at New Zealand football, that Vlock is one for the future. I know Michael Main is in attendance today. Plenty of talent for him to run an eye over. Maybe Vlock will be in line for those FIFA Women's World Cup qualifiers as a foul conceded by Newcastle.
Yeah, great to see that start from Vlock, who came up through the Auckland United side in the academy there, and so great work from the Auckland United team to get her up to. And she said that Chloe Knott was an inspiration for her, who also played at Phoenix, so she was dreaming of making this team, and she's done it to start in just her second appearance for the Wellington Phoenix.
And Priscilla, you've been a young player coming into a senior environment. Just how much confidence will that give Pia Vlock?
Yeah, well, she came in as a substitute for that first game and maybe wasn't expecting to start so early, but I think that long shot that she took in the first couple of minutes really showed her intent, and not afraid to just help lead the line here, even though she's just 17 years of age.
It'll be the goal scorer, charged with first corner for Wellington. Talk from Bev Priestman through the week. A lot of emphasis placed on set-piece defence and attack. Delivery is cleared eventually by Newcastle. A wayward clearance too. There's beautiful conditions down here in Porirua. Wind never too far away. Certainly last season we saw plenty of blustery conditions. Almost give the wind an assist for the match between these two teams last season, when Mania Elliott's 98th minute winner, direct from a corner. There's Lara Wall, skips clear. How's her delivery? Blocked at the near post. Newcastle, their first foray really into Wellington's area. Less than 10 minutes played, but Newcastle really haven't seen a lot of the ball, have they, Priscilla?
Yeah, it's been all Phoenix, I think, in this first sort of 10 minutes. And that's exactly what Bev Priestman would have been wanting her side to come out and do. She said it wasn't free-flowing enough for her liking in that first game against Canberra United. She thinks they have a lot more to show in terms of something to excite the fans, and they've done just that, and hopefully they can get another one.
Loose pass given away by the Jets in the centre of the pitch. First touch by CJ Bott. As Priscilla mentioned, used to seeing her as a wide fullback. She's tucked inside at the base of a box midfield. That'll definitely help her ability to get on the ball. Maybe translate that into a role with the national team.
I think another thing for this Newcastle Jet side is Annalise is very good with her distribution, whether it's from her hands or with her feet. So last week she actually got an assist playing it through to Charlotte Lancaster for her first goal of the A-League. So I think Wellington Phoenix will also have to watch that one.
Essen just playing a little high, loose pass. Unable to connect, and possession turned over. Can the Jets find a way back in early? It'd set us up for a really mouth-watering encounter if they were the next team to score. There's a slide rule pass, and Essen just read the danger. It was initially just a bit of a loose mid-range pass, which turned possession over to Newcastle. An early goal like that can sometimes just rock a team. So, the ball is going to be too long. Looking to attack from deep areas. The positional change for Wellington this week. We saw Alyssa Wynnum start the match against Canberra in that right-sided, almost a wing-back role, before drifting inside into a more traditional attacking midfield role. See her starting almost as a double central attacking midfield combined with Pia Vlock at the top of that midfield. Sometimes you'll see Lara Wall just about to take the throw in here, drop into a more traditional left-back role. So plenty of versatility from Priestman's side.
Yeah, good to see Lara Wall getting the call-up for the Football Ferns as well for those games against Matildas coming up, along with Vic Essen and CJ Bott.
Wellington finding a little bit of space down that right-hand channel. This time it was Emma Main. Getting down into those wide flank areas. It'll be interesting to see how Emma Main goes today. She came on as a substitute and was used as a substitute quite a lot last season, but real opportunity for her to get a few more minutes and show what she can do as a starting 11 player. Position just starting to even out between these two sides. As Lauren Allen just checks back in and finds her goalkeeper again. Position once again turned over. A bit of a game of transition, as we heard through the week at Bev Priestman's press conference, talking about her own journey adjusting to the rigours of the A-League. Yeah, we saw good pressure just there from Melina Ayres, who is known for her goal scoring, but also her work in defence. So good to see a bit of pressure from her to get the ball for her side. Closing in on a century of appearances, Ayres. Season off last year. Welcome back into the Jets squad. 3 times A-League Women's Champion. It's Main. Sees that attempted cross blocked by Tash Pryor. And then concedes a soft foul. Just leaning on the Australian international defender was Emma Main. Yeah, used her body well there. Tash Pryor getting the call up to the Matildas in the 2024. Made her debut against Brazil that year and scored her first international the following game. So she was immense for them when they played Wellington Phoenix last time around. And very strong in defence for the Newcastle Jets. All over the top. Nunn to scamper away and try and secure, and she does so. Dominant in the early stages of the match, Nunn. Crowd like that one. Just not able to link with Alyssa Wynnum. Lovely bit of skill there from Nunn. As we see it again, that's what the Yellow Fever want to see a bit more of from this Wellington side. Something to get excited about. And starts well with a goal and a bit of trickery. Ball finds its way back to an elite. And looks just to try and clip it long. Jale wins a header. Just to seeing Wellington's number 7 in more advanced areas last season. Just sitting at the bottom of midfield. Working a new partnership with her captain, CJ Bott. Incidentally, Bott missed most of the pre-season with a concussion. Last week were her first competitive minutes. That will just increase slowly. Drew from the New Zealand international squad last window. Recalled by coach Michael Main. Matches against the Matildas as a ball into the area. Main was just able to crane that neck and get a connection on, but no power. In the end, the ball just looping into the hands of Elite, who rather casually just throws the ball out, and possession turned over.
Yeah, it was great build-up play by the Phoenix, and Nunn getting in on the action again. That's a good-looking cross. So causing a handful for the defence down that right-hand side for the Knicks.
Once again, Wellington. In that right-hand channel, this time the inside ball. There's one and a foul conceded. Like heavy contact between the two. Tash Bryant marshalling the Newcastle rear guard. Very experienced player. 61 appearances to her name before today.
CJ Bott getting to it first, and I think it was Josie Wilson taking a tumble. In fact, it's Cass Davis who's down. That's not good. She missed the first game against Canberra United. Vastly experienced Newcastle player. They will not want to see her go off here.
Yeah, captain on captain. Cass Davis, appearance number 177 today. Remarkable longevity in her career. Looks like she will attempt to run this one off. Maybe just a case of a dead leg after that connection with CJ Bott, who's not afraid to mix it. Defender by trade, Wellington's captain, now finding herself in the midfield. She'll be thriving in those battles between her and Cass Davis, who's still just doubled over at the top of the 18-yard box. We'll keep an eye on the free kick from Jale. Looking for the run of Pia Vlok. It's too long in the end. Only 20 minutes played in the first half. Welcome in to our viewers across the ditch. Wonderful Sunday afternoon here in Porirua. It was Brooke Nunn inside 5 minutes. That's given the home side the lead. Squeezing a shot underneath an Elite. Not able to be cleared off the line by Lauren Allen. Comes up from Lara Wall. 45 minutes against the United States to make her international debut. Solid foundation, enough to be recalled to Michael Main's Football Ferns squad. Led the Wellington Phoenix in terms of delivery into the box last season, and is working on perhaps just varying that delivery. More targets to aim for. And the arrival of Samba. Today it's a familiar face in Emma Main, locally known as the Main Train. Goals in her 43 appearances for Maine. She'd love to get on the scoreboard again today, and she scampers off. Just trying to lead Tash Pryor away, maybe to open some space in behind for Pia Vlok as that second striker run. She's certainly tireless, Emma Maine, and perhaps one, while we talk about international football, for the future. FIFA Women's World Cup qualifiers on the horizon. In Oceania and within the AFC as well. World Cup set to be held in Brazil in 2027. And whether we'll see a player like Pia Vlok. She's still got an under-20 World Cup to contend with potentially in her immediate future. But the rise is pretty rapid for a player who was 16 when she signed here at Wellington, just turned 17 now. Big future ahead. We have a number of teenagers on the pitch today. Look across at Emma Dundas, just 18 and already nearing half a century of appearances for Newcastle. So if you're good enough, you're old enough in the A-League. Now delivery from wide areas, no real white shirts to aim for. Although Lancaster on the far side has done ever so well to keep that in play. Well, a clash in the middle. And Anne-Marie Kiley has pointed to the spot. Penalty conceded. So a seemingly innocuous attack has resulted in a penalty kick for Newcastle and a chance to draw level.
Yeah, as we see here, it was just I see that it was the second one from Mackenzie Barry, perhaps. I thought it was the first challenge, but as we look again, I think she was pulled back. And against the run of play, you would say, Newcastle Jets now have the chance to equalise.
Yes, Mackenzie Barry, second bite, concedes the penalty. Oxygen drains from Porirua Park. Meanwhile, it's Melina Ayres with the opportunity to equalise. And she sends Essen the wrong way. The Jets are back in the match. Well, as you say, Priscilla, somewhat against the run of play. Newcastle claw a way back in. Almost really their first foray into the 18-yard box. Penalty conceded. And CJ Bott lays down the law.
Yeah, well, you wouldn't want to give the ball to anyone else but Melina Ayres in this situation. Very experienced striker and puts it away with no trouble at all. Stephen Hoyle will be very happy that his side are already back in this one. And we have a very exciting last half of this first half to go.
Well, she made no mistake scoring her 37th of her career, which is ticking towards 100 appearances. Well, Mackenzie Barry, perhaps on reflection, will rue that second nibble. Really, it was a tangle of bodies, wasn't it? And Anne-Marie Kiley, no hesitation in pointing to the spot.
And it will be great to see how Wellington Phoenix respond here. Bev Priestman did talk about one thing she liked in their first match was that resilience to come back from behind. So they've got to now regroup. They had much of this first part of the half in their favour, and that'll rattle them a little bit. So it'll be good to see how they respond.
Well, it was excellent work, wasn't it, on the left-hand side to chase down what seemed to be a lost cause. Hooked back into play. Newcastle retained possession, found its way into the 18-yard box, and a tangle of limbs resulted in the penalty. Tucked away, so plenty for Priestman to think about. After an excellent start, they find themselves back level with the visitors. themselves are chasing their first back-to-back away wins since 2004.
And there's been lots of talk about this Wellington Phoenix side who will come in and really play that creative role, with Annalie Longo having left the side from last year, and a couple of new combinations to get used to. So Alyssa Wynnum, I haven't seen a lot of her yet, but Nunn on that right-hand side has provided the ball in a few times, and block's been lively, but it'll be interesting to see who can really create these chances for the home side.
Here's Copus Brown, another Centurion. Just finds herself dispossessed. Good work. The youngster Pia Block at the other end of the experience scale, and just her second match is Nunn. It's got a deft pass back inside. This is Wynnum. Away by Pryor. Edge of the box. Blocked by Main in the end it was. Friendly fire after the left-footed strike from Alyssa Wynnum. Phoenix looks like they've found another gear. Great delivery. Jale. Oh, well, the rebound came back to Jale. She swung the left foot. Didn't get a connection at all. A huge opportunity goes begging for Wellington.
Yeah, uncharacteristic from Grace Jale, as you see the ball comes in from CJ Bott. A dangerous one, not really picked up at all by anyone from Newcastle, and it looked like she was taking the breath to settle herself, but then it just shanks it off that left boot. She'll want that one back again.
Well, the first up volley was excellent. Good work by Newcastle just to get bodies in the line. And surprisingly, great delivery from wide areas from CJ Bott. That's an area we're used to seeing her overlapping into from fullback. Found herself out there. It was a great cross at a good height. Jale showed excellent technique to keep it down. And that technique just left her with the rebound.
Yeah, Alyssa Wynnum getting involved there. She went off after, well, I think about 25 minutes to go in the first round match against Canberra United, and the Phoenix didn't have a chance on goal after that, so she's definitely a key playmaker for the Phoenix, so linking up well with Nunn and CJ Bott on that right-hand side.
It's taken nearly 25 minutes for Wynnum to find a way into the match. You clearly see Wellington have favoured that right-hand side. As a flag is raised. So offside there.
And I like this box midfield for the Wellington Phoenix. You've seen CJ Bott and Grace Jale winning a lot of the aerial duels and putting it right back in the mix there, but unfortunately the offside position.
The aerial ping pong before the ball settles down for Emma Dundas. It's a longer range pass, and she's looking for Lancaster again on the left-hand side. That was the 1-2 punch last week, which opened the scoring. It's an excellent first touch by Charlotte Lancaster, just to get in front of the defender before rolling it in at the near post. Good battle on that far side between Lancaster and Nunn.
Yeah, and Elite once again just showing the range of passing that she has. Very comfortable with the ball at her feet. She played some outfield actually at Hibiscus Coast earlier this year, so likes to get the ball down and find those long range passes as well.
Leslie is clipping one, this time only as far as a yellow shirt in the form of Mackenzie Barry. Wynnum's just come to life in the final 20 minutes of this first half. Starting to get on the ball, starting to bring players in around her.
And a lot of these through balls are just a little bit too straight for the Phoenix. They look better when they hit the pockets and those wide spaces onto Nunn and the likes of Wall, but these ones just going straight through to the keeper in the last 5 minutes.
Both technical areas just passing instructions as we enter the last 15 minutes of the first half. Challenge on the far side by CJ Bott, typical no-nonsense. Notice the black armbands on the shirts of the Wellington Phoenix players. They are an acknowledgement of Daisy Brazendale's grandmother, who passed away this week, a regular attendee at Porirua Park. Mindful of the club to recognise Daisy and her family. Stood on the bench today, Daisy Brazendale. Good to see her in the second half. No doubt an emotion-filled week for her. Good battle with Dundas, who looks to just slip a pass into the 10-yard box again. They're a clinical side, Newcastle, and their chances are presented. They do tend to take them. It's not creating as much as Wellington, but really in this match is all played over the top for Allen to overlap. Cross is blocked, and they have their first corner after 30 minutes.
This is better from Newcastle Jets, just getting the ball down and playing a little bit more. They've enjoyed some good possession over the last 5 minutes or so. Melina Ayres picking the ball up a little deeper than she would have liked, but playing a nice ball in over the top and earning this side a corner.
That'll be the left foot of Lancaster with an in-swinging delivery. And gets a punch. Good cover. Mackenzie Barry touches wayward. Essen comes and claims the goalkeeper. She hasn't had a lot to do so far, but will boost her confidence. A strong punch followed up by a clean take. After really only having to pick the ball out of the back of the net from the penalty spot. He's connected passes, but not had to make a save. In fact, neither goalkeeper really being called into action so far. This one across field into the path of Nunn. Who resumes her battle with Lancaster. And it's Wynnum on the far side to our broadcast position. Who crosses in at the near post, but only as far as Tash Pryor. Wellington try and regain the lead. It's just caught on the ball there, Wynnum. All played in, and Maine are not able to get that touchdown. Able to strike on goal. Inviting pressure here, Newcastle, and around Leet. Couldn't find Maine. Well, it was almost caught in two minds, it seemed, Newcastle.
Good pressure from the Phoenix, and I think Leet did just enough there to not let the shot come through after some really good high pressure from Wellington Phoenix, which no doubt Brett Pearson has told them to do.
Both sides just picking their moments when to press. Charlie's winning a lot of aerial duels in the midfield. Strong in the air. Youthful exuberance of Pia Vlok. Open the scoring for Wellington. Jale had a chance to restore the lead with that left foot. The shot was wayward. Goal scorer Nunn. The delivery. Looked like the wind caught that one. Just pushed it over the byline. She's been busy.
Couldn't quite get the cross that time, but I like that Alyssa Wynnum has got very involved in the attacking for the Wellington Phoenix, getting Nunn in on the game, down that right-hand side in particular.
Clever from CJ Bott just to evade the dual attentions of the Newcastle Jets midfield. She'll be relishing this opportunity to play in the middle of the park, won't she, Scylla?
Yeah, well, despite that concussion in the pre-season, Bev Priestman said she did a lot of running, so she's very fit. She's got a good engine on her. And as Bev said in the preview for this one, she likes that she can win the ball a lot and also play the balls through to her strikers. Got everything to her game, really, as she's developed it over in Europe for several seasons now.
Strong defending by Tash Pryor. It's the Maids, Pia Block. Not afraid to play it out from the back, are they, Newcastle? And this is a clever run in behind by Ayres. It's been an entertaining first 35 minutes of this match. Step up from the opener last week at Sky Stadium for Bev Priestman's side. For Stephen Hoyle's Newcastle Jets, it looks as though they've shaken the rust of the bye week off. Settled into their work now. It has been a game of few chances, but evenly poised. And Walker. Just looked as though she trod on the ball, managed to evade the attentions of Newcastle, but possession given away. And recycled through Josie Wilson. Newcastle's turn now. Go to the outlet of Hannah Leet. Eventually the ball out on the halfway line.
Yeah, I think Stephen Hoyle, the Newcastle coach, will be happy how his team have come back and grown in confidence, I guess you'd say, in this first half. He's had a lot of involvement in football in New Zealand, came and played at Eastern Suburbs, Canterbury United, other teams, and been very involved in women's football as well. Coached some of these youngsters as youngsters, and I think he'll be happy with how his side have come back into this one.
Well, an example of that is Olivia Page on the bench for Newcastle. Well, first worked with her when she was 14 years of age. Has returned from Sheffield United to try her luck in the A-League. Made her Jets debut off the bench last week. Likely contender to see some action here at Porirua Park in the second half.
Newcastle were the leakiest of teams in the A-League last year. I think there was more than 50 goals they conceded, so I think that's one of the areas that Stephen Hoyle will be wanting them to look at, and with Tash Pryor there leading the back line, I'm sure they'll be much improved this year, and they're very obviously a good threat, and on the counter especially.
Pryor steps in. Her pass is loose, possession given away. Just caught a glimpse there of record goal scorer for Newcastle, Tara Andrews, who's returned to the club. As an assistant coach in Stephen Hoyle's management team. Good to see players involve themselves back in once their playing days are over. Perhaps an indication that India Breyer will be injected into the second half. Scored in the 89th minute after coming on late against Canberra. Proved to be the match winner. Spoke in the post-match about the good vibes that there is around Newcastle. The environment. And the new coach. Seemed to be a positive one as a good ball played in over the top. And good defending. Essendon's got a touch on that. And that will be a corner. Well, needed to make the intervention, did the Wellington Phoenix goalkeeper.
Melina Ayres dropping in deep again, and what a ball over the top. A pretty decent touch, but obviously needed to be taken care of, and hats off to Vic Essen to get her hands to that one. It's a good battle for the goalkeepers here, trying to impress to get that starting spot for the Football Ferns.
Well, I spoke to Stephen Hoyle in the lead up to the match, and he had big raps on Josie Allen, who saw that shot just parried away as corner is delivered. There's a Newcastle player down, and a strike is wide. Well, as we enter the final 5 minutes, the Jets go close twice in quick succession.
Always a dangerous time in football, these last 5 minutes of the half, and Newcastle Jets just bouncing around, no one quite claiming it for the Phoenix, and unlucky not to get a go-ahead goal there.
Well, it almost causes you to stop in your tracks, doesn't it, when you see a body hit the floor inside the 18-yard box. All eyes go to the referee. Meanwhile, play needs to continue as they enter the penalty area again, and eventually hacked clear by Jale. It looks as though momentum has swung in favour of the away team as we enter the shadows of the first half. Can they take a lead going into the break, which they will be ecstatic with after conceding inside the first 5 minutes? Wellington just looking to be resolute in defence. Just perhaps sensing that momentum has shifted. Want to be difficult to break down. Last thing that Bev Priestman will want to do is to concede late on. Such a challenging time for teams to navigate. The end of the first half and the beginning of the second half, we see so many goals scored. Priestman did make mention that perhaps Wellington teams of the past guilty of being in positive positions and ending up with a draw or a loss in the dying stages, so something she's looking to stamp out. Nunn. She's enjoying herself out on the right-hand side. Wynnum taking on Claudia Chico. Thinks it's a corner, and eventually given.
So a chance down at the other end now for Wellington Phoenix to cause some trouble in the box. We saw Van der Meer get up and score a goal in the first game, so she's always a handful. But Tash Breyer, no doubt, for the Newcastle Jets will be also looking to win this one in the air.
Wall's delivery is inviting, but not able to find the head of Grace Jale. And you think Stephen Hoyle will be the happier of the two coaches, Priscilla?
Yeah, they withstood the pressure, I think, early on, which was expected from the Phoenix to come out and try and score first, which they did. And I think they've grown in confidence. Bev Priestman has plenty to think about at half-time. They have just kind of gone on a bit the back foot, I think, here at Wellington Phoenix, but still a couple of minutes to go for them to try and get that goal to make them a lot happier into the changing rooms.
Oh, I've sometimes seen from Newcastle that more direct play, having up with some good chances, Ayres dropping off the front line, getting on the ball in deep areas, and then playing for that second striker. Space in front of the Wellington Phoenix back three. Marcus Brown's not happy. So back on Anna-Marie Kiley before the FIFA referee is able to finish her point. Side flag is raised. Anastasia Filiparides. As we await confirmation of time added on. Shortly we'll see the board raised by fourth official Sarah Jones. Just the one stoppage from memory, Cass Davis, who was clattered by CJ Bott, requiring a little bit of attention. Newcastle, good first touch. Off they go again. Here's rather Copus Brown. Just drifted away from goal rather than making that darting run inside. A minimum of 2 minutes added on. His possession gifted to Dundas. She finds Copus Brown, and over goes Allen. So a corner to defend before half-time. It'll be Lancaster that trots across. Another in-swinging delivery. Copus Brown will be one of the targets. In comes Tash Pryor. Towards Essen, who gets another punch. Cleared only as far as Claudia Chico. Raking delivery from Leet, but it's only as far as Ellie Walker. As we head towards the interval, Wellington and Newcastle locked at 1-1. I'm sure Claudia Chico would love to get one over her former employers. If memory serves me right, she was locked in a battle with Tiana Jaber last season. Lebanese international Jaber, still on the recovery road. Was almost an ever-present last year for Wellington. Themselves in trouble, Newcastle. Maine can't capitalise, but there's a chance on the right-hand side if they can free the ball. Wynnum, under intense pressure, does well to retain possession. Now, Wellington go out the other side. They elect to stay down the right-hand side, and Jale's ball eventually finds its way to Nunn. Wynnum, well, that was the right type of delivery, but too close to the goalkeeper. And that is the end of the first half here at Porirua Park. Brooke Nunn opened the scoring inside 5 minutes. For Newcastle, pulled back from the penalty spot. At half-time, it is the Wellington Phoenix 1, Newcastle Jets 1. Hoki mai anō, welcome back to Porirua Park, where the tale of half-time is Wellington Phoenix 1, Newcastle Jets 1. It was a bright start for Wellington, the home side. Able to open the scoring early to send these fans to early raptures. And this was inside the first 5 minutes. It was an excellent pass by Pia Vlok, the 17-year-old on starting debut, to find Brooke Nunn on the right-hand side of the penalty box. And Priscilla, she made no mistake with the finish.
Yeah, it was a good call from the assistant to give it to the Phoenix, but what a pass there from the young 17-year-old on starting debut. And Nunn, I guess Emma Main with the pressure just to make sure that it did cross the line. And she's been a standout for me in this first half. Brooke Nunn on the right-hand side.
Yeah, Lauren Allen just unable to prevent the ball from crossing. Newcastle would find the way back, and it was a tangle of bodies between Mackenzie Barry and Lauren Allen. And it was Melina Ayres from the penalty spot who made no mistake there. Clinical Newcastle. And that was then back into the game, Priscilla.
Yeah, nicely poised, this one. And anyone's game, I guess, with Wellington Phoenix enjoying a little bit more possession, but not too many clear-cut chances for either side. Just the 2 shots on target for Phoenix and 1 for Newcastle Jets.
Well, Bev Priestman needed to replace their Nepalese striker Samba, who pulled up with an injury in the matchday -1 session. She's injected the 17-year-old Pia Vlok, who only had 5 minutes last week against Canberra United, and she's been bright in her starting debut, Priscilla.
Yeah, she took this long shot, I think, early on, maybe the first minute or so, and showed her intent to get stuck in, and ball falling fortuitously there, but what a through ball that was. And played with real confidence at just 17. And I guess what she needs to do now is stay in the game. I guess she just went a little bit more quiet towards the end of the half. So as a youngster, I think she'll just need to feed off the energy of those senior players to lead her into this one.
Yeah, Wellington, despite only scoring the 1 goal, have had a couple of big chances in the first half. It's been a game few and far between. And, this cross from CJ Bott was expertly kept down by Grace Jarley. The original shot was blocked, but that second attempt off the left foot just skewing off and heading outside. And then Alyssa Wynnum was around the goalkeeper, looking for a yellow shirt inside the penalty area. Emma Main just not able to get in front of the defender to try and get that first contact, in the end cleared off the line by Newcastle. And for the Jets, well, they finished the stronger of the 2 sides late in that first half. We've seen Melina Ayres just drop into this pocket of space, and when they are direct, they're causing the back 3 of Wellington some trouble. Vic Essen with a fingertip touch just to push that one round the post. A feather touch, really. And a couple of half chances, bodies falling. A bit of ping pong before the volley was just sent wide by Lauren Allen, the defender, who has been busy. Maybe, just maybe from both sides, Priscilla, we could expect to see some changes in the second half.
Yeah, subs might play a key role in this one. And if it's anything like these, the 2 sides that met last season here at Porirua Park, that was a 3-2 thriller. So hopefully we see one of these sides going ahead with a winner, but everything to play for in the second half.
Well, that's right, you can't afford to take your eyes off this one. Last season, it was the 98th minute before a winner came. This one is positioned at 1 goal apiece at half-time, and we will be back with the second half on the other side of this break.
When I kind of first started speaking to the club about potentially coming back a year ago, you could see the investment then, and I think with the recent signings as well, you can see it even more. And I think it's a very, very exciting group. There's a lot of experience, there's a lot of different kind of talents, and I think if we can pull that all together in a really positive way, we'll have a really exciting brand of football, and I'm really hoping that we can win the trophy this season. The brand of football is awesome. It's something I don't think that's been seen with the Phoenix yet. It's a possession-based style. There's a lot of ball, there's a lot of movement, a lot of creativity, and if we can kind of really sync up and use our, I guess, shared ability together, it will be a really, really great season. I have played a long time in Europe. I think I've shown what you can do by starting off in New Zealand and then playing overseas, but then I think it's awesome to be able to come back and equally show girls that you can still play professionally in New Zealand and be really successful. I love winning. That's kind of why I play sport. I love that feeling. I love competition and beating people. But I think putting out performances that I'm proud of, playing in front of my home city, I don't want to put out poor performances. I don't want to put out half-hearted performances. If anyone knows me, they know that I'm always 100% when I play, when I train. So if I can do that, I will be really, really proud. But number one, winning.
Hoki mai anō, welcome back to Porirua Park. CJ Bott, number one priority is winning. Her team tied 1-1 with Newcastle. Priscilla, how great is it to see a player like CJ Bott return to New Zealand after an illustrious international career where professional opportunities perhaps didn't exist before?
Yeah, I'm sure as a 17-year-old, when she went offshore to carve out that career, she never would have imagined that she could come back and play week in, week out here in the A-League as a professional with the Wellington Phoenix. She's a class player, and I'm sure a lot of those, especially the youngsters in this Phoenix side, will be learning a lot from her.
Well, she's also been asked by her coach, Bev Priestman, to try a new role. Now, Priestman herself coming to the A-League for the first time after a really storied international career. What sort of messages will she be giving to the team at this match tied at 1-1?
I think you heard before CJ Bott's winning mentality. Well, Bev Priestman certainly has that, and I think it helps. You've got some on the side that have won trophies in the past, and should be looking, I think, for those leaders to step up and, I guess, ooze that confidence to hopefully bring the younger ones along with them and just keep their composure, keep the ball on the ground. I think start in the same way that they did the first 20 minutes or so of that first half and should be happy.
Well, it was a blistering start by the home team, taking a 1-0 lead after 4 minutes before Newcastle, through the boot of Melina Ayres from the penalty spot, were able to draw the teams level again. 1-1 is how we start the second half. Marie Kylie has not been called upon for any incidents. The penalty was perhaps a little bit against the run of play. It's Newcastle, who don't need a lot of chances, it should be said. They will never give up. 89th minute winner coming against Canberra United in round 1. Goal coming off the bench too, exactly what you want from your impact players. And it will be Newcastle who get us underway, attacking the goal to the left of your picture in the white shirts. Wellington in the yellow and black attacking the goal to the right of screen. No changes for either side to report. I'm sure as this match ticks along, fourth official Sarah Jones will be busy with the comings and goings as Wellington look to pick up where they started in that first half. There was a goal through, player taking the throw, Brooke Nunn. Warren Allen unable to keep the ball out from the back of the net. No VAR. Good call by the assistant referee, signalling clear and early to Anna-Marie Kylie. The ball across the line as slipped in front of the defender was young Pia Vlok. Couldn't get a good connection, but she started brightly in her starting debut as a 17-year-old, Priscilla.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it's been mostly down that right-hand side for the Phoenix where they're creating their best chances. She did well to run in front of the defender and get a touch on it. Just couldn't quite get the power she would have wanted. CJ Bott getting him behind on that right-hand side, as we saw in the first half. And Annalise, she's had plenty of action, the goalkeeper for Newcastle United, but very assured at the back.
Well, welcome back in to Porirua. Beautiful afternoon for football. Here's the Jets. An early cross in. Vic Essen is out and able to claim. Called into action really only once was the Football Ferns goalkeeper. Fingertip save to deny Josie Allen. There's a sloppy pass. Eventually tidied up by Wellington. It's been a bit of a lopsided attack, as you say, Priscilla. A lot of action coming down this near side through Brooke Nunn, as Essen just puts a foot through it. Didn't get all of it. Actually, the ball makes its way to Emma Main, who drops deep off the front line. And links back up with Ellie Walker. Wynnum has drifted into an offside position. It was better from Wellington. Coach Bev Priestman really wanted her side to be tidier on the ball, especially with their attacking intent. A lot of work in the pre-season going into their defensive solidarity. Perhaps in that opening match against Canberra last weekend, just guilty, not expressing themselves. See there, Alina Ayres encouraging her teammates to hold the line, forcing Essen to go long into Wynnum. And Newcastle set the trap. If they go through Josie Allen, and shot from Dundas is up and over. Patient defending from Newcastle, not allowing Wellington to play out from the back.
Nice play there by Allen, and you could see Newcastle Jets just putting pressure on the Phoenix, couldn't get out. Vic Essen having to go long, and you have to win those aerial battles. It's not going to come straight back at them.
Just a little lapse in concentration by Mackenzie Barry. Ball goes under the foot, cleaned up by her goalkeeper. There was a work on for Stephen Hoyle's team after round one. Just knowing when to press or when to stay compact. As the ball slipped through. Nunn took a touch when perhaps the shot was on. Leeds floundering. And in the end, Nunn almost got caught in two minds between whether to drive at the near post or try and dink it in the top. In the end, floats harmlessly wide.
Well, it was almost a replica of the first goal. Vlock putting it through for Nunn. But Anna Lee, I guess, just held it up enough for putting Nunn in two minds, I guess, and she just held on to it a little bit too long, and the defenders came back, and there was just no room to squeeze it in.
Got a glimpse on the replay there of the two Newcastle Jets defenders that bolted back onto the line to provide cover for Anna Leet, who was left stranded. Good goalkeeping by Leet. You're right, Priscilla. Perhaps just put a little bit of doubt in Brooke Nunn's mind. Player who recently signed from the Central Coast Mariners after winning the title last year in her first season in the A-League.
I think that's what's important for this Phoenix side. A few of those players like Nunn, like Vic Essen, like CJ Bott, who have played and won titles with their teams respectively. And she's been very bright again in the second half, Brooke Nunn.
You were right, Priscilla. That pass from Pia Vlock was almost a carbon copy So the teenager not overawed by the occasion. This time it's Nunn. Just thinks over the top for Alyssa Wynnum, who cuts inside the defender. Chico does it twice. Crosses block. She'll try and shield this for a corner, will Wynnum, who had a quiet start to the game. Started to stand up in the second half of the first half, Alyssa Wynnum.
A great creative playmaker, Alyssa Wynnum. It was a special occasion for her in the game she played against Newcastle last season of her 50th. Special moment when her dad came out and gave her a presentation, and here she is now trying to shine bright for the Phoenix.
Lara Wall's delivery. Leet claims it. Main just making a bit of a nuisance of herself in front of the Newcastle custodian, whose long clearance into the path of Josie Allen. Defending by Mackenzie Barry, trying to make amends for conceding that penalty in the first half. She's an excellent defender, Mackenzie Barry. Perhaps focus for this season is work on the ball, being able to contribute and start attacks from deep areas. No questioning her ability to marshal a defence or provide a last-minute tackle or a block. Just tidying up on the other side of the ball.
And I think Mackenzie Barry might be one of those others who's trying to push for a Football Ferns cap, with that team having just been named earlier this week for the games against Matildas coming up. You've got Mackenzie Barry, the likes of Mania Elliott, Alyssa Wynnum and Grace Jarley, who have all featured before but didn't get the call up this time, so need to be impressing week in, week out in the A-League to try and get that call up.
Free kick delivery in towards Essen, too close to the goalkeeper. So, look of frustration from Melina Ayres. She's been forced to drop deep to get on the ball. Ayres. Too many opportunities as Wynnum's cross floats into the hands of Anna Lee. So here we go, coast to coast in quick succession. Sloppy on the ball, picked up by Jarley. Twists out of trouble herself, Jarley, and can she free it up through central midfield partner Bott? She does. Two players perhaps unfamiliar to that defensive midfield role. Jarley and Bott as a shot. Great save. Well, Anna Leet with a superb top hand save. That was creeping in the corner, and she needed to stretch to the absolute limit.
Space opened up there for Alyssa Wynnum. A great left foot shot, and even better save from Anna Leet, former West Ham and Aston Villa player.
Now she saw it all the way, Leet. Wry smile on the face. Excellent save. This time she's really been called into action. There's Nunn. Oh, stabbed in there, wasn't it? Sitting up invitingly, just looking for that touch. Didn't come. And CJ Bott all over. Now, a little bit of gamesmanship from the captain. Just slowing things down, allowing her team to regroup and fall in behind.
Competitive character, obviously, CJ Bott, but also doesn't want to let that frustration settle in here as well. I'd like to just see them keep their cool.
And it's as though we've got a change coming up here for Newcastle. India Breyer coming in for Charlotte Lancaster, it seems. And this is an attacking spark for Stephen Hoyle's side. India Breyer scored her first goal of her A-League career in the 2-1 win over Canberra. Just heard Stephen Hoyle in the pre-match comments talking about what an impact that Briar made when she came off the bench. Exactly what you want from a substitute, to influence the game. So the first change, just under an hour.
One that we perhaps could have predicted. His last time around for Newcastle Jets, India Briar came on and, of course, scored the winner. Really nice moment for her, 19 years of age, 20 A-League appearances, but her first goal last time around for Newcastle Jets.
So Hoyle shuffles the pack first. It's going to take long before Bev Priestman decides that she wants to mix things up as well. Wonder whether a player like Mania Elliott, who was a real hero for Wellington last time these two teams met, scored a brace. As we tick towards the hour mark, this match still locked at 1-1, with goals coming in the first half. It was Brooke Nunn after 4 minutes, before Melina Ayres from the penalty spot equalised for the visiting team. Chasing back-to-back away wins for the first time since early 2024. For Wellington, they're looking to snap, I should say, a 3-game winless streak here at Porirua Park. 2 draws and a loss since their last victory. Bit of space on the far side for Lauren Allen. Delivery is a good one. Mackenzie Barry won the header and needed to, with Ayres just creeping off her back shoulder. Looking to occupy that space just outside the 6-yard box. Really excellent work by Newcastle's front runner. Find that space in between 2 of the back 3 of Wellington. Cross was really inviting too. It was a necessary intervention from Barry. She's going to be called into action here again. Here's the call of her goalkeeper. Confident by New Zealand's number 1, as Brooke Nunn skips clear of one challenge. It's the accelerator down. Finds Wynnum, who's drifted out onto that right-hand side. Perhaps a positional change for Wynnum in the second half. Certainly interchangeable with Brooke Nunn. Just sensing a little bit of frustration creeping into Alyssa Wynnum's game at the moment, as Ayres, well, I think she spotted Vic Essen off her line. The eye is lit up, but the execution left a little bit to be desired. Essen with a little fumble, but no white shirts causing any consternation as CJ Bott just skips clear in midfield. Not for the first time today, really starting to grow into that central midfield role. Just with that little feint, allowing her to skip clear. Well, it's a game that's just meandering at the moment, isn't it, Priscilla? Waiting for a moment just to bring it back to life.
Yeah, on the hour mark, I guess it's important that both of these sides just try and keep possession. It's a little bit transitional at the moment, and no one quite taking this game by the scruff of the neck.
Well, no sooner have we suggested something needs to change than Bev Priestman decides to go to the bench. It'll be the youngster Pia Vlock, replaced by Mania Elliott. I'm sure Pia Vlock will be happy with her afternoon's work, Priscilla.
Yeah, I think she can be proud of her effort today. Came on as substitute last week to make her debut, but good to get that starting 11, and she set up the first goal for the Phoenix and started brightly again in the second half. Almost put through Nunn again, but I guess the 17-year-old has done a good shift here, I guess.
The Interesting to see where Manaya Elliott just starts to slot in. It's more of a wide forward than Pia Vlok, who operated almost as an old-fashioned inside centre forward alongside Alyssa Wynnum. I wonder whether this means that Brooke Nunn might drop inside one to partner Wynnum. Elliott scampers down the right-hand side, but she's not able to be found by that pass. Jale's radar just a little bit off. Newcastle done excellently to come back into the match after conceding so early. There's Elliott, her first chance to take on Claudia Chico.
It'll be interesting to see how Manaya Elliott settles into this game. She came on as a substitute when these two sides met at Porirua Park last season and scored 2 goals, so she could perhaps prove to be the difference between those two sides. She's a great New Zealand international. She played a lot of futsal growing up to give her a lot of mastery with her footwork, and also done some great work with sprint coaches over the years, so hopefully she can come in and make a real impact for her side.
Product out of Hamilton, Manaya Elliott. Alva United for her formative football years before the family made the move down to the capital. Now full-time professional footballer. Hasn't quite established herself in the senior international side. Perhaps looking for that consistency at club level before being really able to make a step up to the next level. 34 appearances for Elliott, 4 goals. Beautiful ball played over into some space. And just wondered whether that was a tangle. Wynnum looks to be in a bit of distress here.
It was a great ball over the top from Nunn, but this looks troubling for Wynnum. I think she took an awkward tumble after the ball went through. Not much in it. I think it was perhaps just a trip, unless there was a clip of feet just there. I think it was just catching her foot awkwardly on the grass, and she looks to be in a lot of pain, so not a good sight for Bev Priestman, but the side will take a little bit of time to regroup here. Here's some wisdom from their coach.
Yeah, no contact at all between defender and attacker. It's as though she's just awkwardly caught the foot in the turf and gone over on that lower leg. Certainly a lot of discomfort, and this will be troubling for Wellington. Also an opportunity for Priestman to get a couple of coaching points across, as the picture paints 1,000 words there. Also it gives Stephen Hoyle an opportunity too. See what he can do. They've done an excellent job of staying in the fight. Well, Wellington will once again be at home next week before the international break. And then 3 away games in a row before returning back to New Zealand to take on Sydney FC. Matches come thick and fast in the A-League. And for Stephen Hoyle, well, they will play their first home game of the season next weekend against the Western Sydney Wanderers. Taking on Brisbane, Central Coast Sydney and Melbourne. It's as though Kelly Brown is getting ready for Hoyle's side. To me, as though they perhaps have more firepower on the bench if necessary. India Breyer has already been injected into the game. Kelly Brown is another striker. I wonder whether this is the end of the afternoon for Alyssa Wynnum. Assistance to be taken from the field.
And it's so hard to see, just the emotion there coming in. Maybe she knows something. There's a bad injury there. Wobbling, maybe, I guess she's walking unaided there, so hopefully it's not too bad for Wynnum. But Wellington Phoenix have had a few injury problems. Samba, of course, not playing, and a couple of others who are still coming back. That'll be not a good sight for Bev Priestman.
Well, it can be concerning, can't it, when you fall over without anybody around as to what really has happened there. Looks as though she's moving a lot freer now, Wynnum, which is a good sign. They will continue with Wellington down to 10 until Wynnum can come back into the field of play. So Priestman and the medical staff will be doing an assessment. This will add time at the other end of the match to allow for that treatment. Meanwhile, Elliott decides on a strike, and it's wayward. Change coming up for Newcastle. And it will be Kelly Brown who does come in for Dundas. So Hoyle opting for another striker.
Kelly Brown also grew up in Hamilton, and one of the 4 Kiwis that Stephen Hoyle has signed. And
Elliott takes over. Main. Just didn't get enough whip on that to trouble Anna Leet. Comfortable save in the end. And the ball played over the top. He's in trouble, Vic Essen. Kelly Brown, of course, a former Wellington Phoenix player. Signed this season from Perth Glory. Five goals to her A-League career to date. Doesn't look like Alyssa Wynnum is going to continue, and Wellington play the ball off the side of the pitch to allow for a change to be made. Well, that cuts an obvious figure that is the end of Alyssa Wynnum's afternoon. She will be replaced by Liv Ingham. And it will be also the end of CJ Bott's afternoon. Still returning to play after concussion. She'll be replaced by Daisy Brazendale. Big week for Daisy. Wearing black armbands after the passing of her grandmother. Mackenzie Barry will take over the captain's armband for Wellington. So Priestman just having to change things for the last 20 minutes of the match as a ball played over the top. Maybe we'll see these two sides start to go more direct, Priscilla, in the closing stages.
Well, we said substitutes might play a big part, but perhaps some of these ones are forced on Bev Priestman. Really hard to see those pictures of Alyssa Wynnum, clearly in a lot of pain. Hopefully she's not out for too long.
There is one of those substitutes made, Mania Elliott. Moving forward, linking with Brooke Nunn on that right-hand side. Crosses blocked by Chico.
We had seen Wynnum out on that right-hand side, so Nunn perhaps coming out to fill that gap where she had been just cutting inside a little bit more in the second half.
Elliott with a left foot delivery. Off the head of Claudia Chico. Stephen Hoyle mentioning that he didn't expect it to be too long before Chico might be on the radar for the Matildas. Just under a little bit of pressure from Brooke Nunn there. And won by Ellie Walker. US import, signed from Portugal. Been efficient in her defending on the right-hand side of Bev Priestman's back three. Just caught in a grapple with Kelly Brown, which saw Brown tumble to the deck. Kenzie Barry making a forward run. Recovery sprint to get back to her normal central defensive position. It's amazing what that captain's armband can do sometimes. You put it on and you think you can do everything. Kenzie Barry looking to try and drag her side back in as a shot. Get hold of it, Emma May, not for the first time today. Doesn't trouble Anna Leet. Wasn't expected to start today, May, but for the injury to Sumba.
Putting the ball up high here for the Phoenix, and Nunn getting in the action again, but Emma May just not getting the power behind it that she would have liked.
So, can the changes for either one of these two sides result in a go-ahead goal? Still 1-1. Balanced on a knife edge. Brown's injected a bit of pace and enthusiasm into the side, as has Mania Elliott, who finds herself on the ball. Early cross delivered in. And dealt with the far side by Lauren Allen. Only as far as the sideline.
Much better play there from the Phoenix, and one-touch football. Nunn getting it out to Elliott, so a bit of interchanging there on this right-hand side.
I do like Wellington when they play with a bit of tempo. Look to really shift. For Newcastle, when they are direct, I think is where they are most threatening. The ball over the top to allow runners to go directly at the back three, really test that one-on-one defending. And with Kelly Brown on, she will pose a threat too. Doesn't mind shooting from distance either, does Kelly Brown. Seen her score some spectacular goals in her career. But right now, her team is on defence as Nunn. Once again with the in-swing delivery. To the near post. Good punch, Anna Leet. Both goalkeepers have been pretty good defending the set piece today. We saw Vic Essen in the first half in the same goal.
It was a great corner in from Nunn on that occasion. Anna Leet had to be at her best, opting to punch it and getting it away for her side.
I haven't seen a lot of India Breyer since she was injected in as the first change. Main just trying to connect with Ingham. Looks as though Liv Ingham is just on the left-hand side of the attacking line, which almost looks to be more of a front three now. A new sub last week, Liv Ingham, in for appearance number 10 today. Under 20 international. There is a second Brazendale on the bench for Wellington today. Lily, no relation to Daisy, who could make her debut if Priestman deems it necessary for her side. Ella McMillan, the other outfield player at the moment, yet to come on. It's got the better of Mackenzie Barry, but no power on the header. Was directed on goal. Easy save for Essen.
No real challenge there for Essen, but I like what I've seen with Melina Ayres today. Very experienced forward. She took a year off. It was a bit of a break. She's been going from football to cricket, and along with studies, just found it all a bit much. Had a year off, but has come back hungrier than ever for the Newcastle side.
Well, it was her goal. Brought the team back into the match. Three-time A-League Women's Champion, don't forget, is one with Melbourne City and 2 with Melbourne Victory. So championship credentials is with this player, Brooke Nunn. Champion last season with the Mariners. It's that sort of experience that a game like this will benefit from. Either team will want to drop the 3 points, as Ayres sensed an opportunity for a strike on goal. In the end, the yellow shirts converged and were able to block the strike. Davis. No runners. A quick release from Essen, looking to try and release Mania Elliott. He looks really fit and fluid on the ball, does Elliott.
You see Nunn just drifting inside there. Seems to have a bit of a free play in the second half. Mania Elliott down this right-hand side. Again, Melina Ayres is very much defend from the top. Talk about fitness. She's putting in a good shift as well.
Well, a sharp intake of breath here at Porirua Park, as she really narrowed the space down on Victoria Essen. Got the block in, that could have gone anywhere. In the end, out for a goal kick. Just caught a little bit on the ball, Essen. Talk about concentration being so critical in the closing stages of either of the 2 halves. Really need to stay switched on and in the game. As looks as though Stephen Hoyle's got a couple more substitutes ready to roll. So the tall figure of Olivia Page. Catch the other number, but I wonder whether it's Zoe Karapidis or Claire Adams. Adams started last week. Drops out of the 11 this week for the club captain, Cass Davis. Just playing a little bit with fire there. Leet able to get her side out with a raking clearance. Mackenzie Barry had to be alert to step across in front of Josie Allen. So it is Olivia Page and Claire Adams. Come on for Stephen Hoyle's side. Lauren Allen making way. And the goal scorer, Melina Ayres. Just looked as though maybe she was running out of a bit of steam. But it was her penalty that brought the team back level.
Yeah, great game from Melina Ayres. She was really their focal point up top, but also dropped into those pockets where she could play the ball over to fellow strikers, and really good game from her.
It's a sort of pocket of space that Kelly Brown loves to get into and just wrap the right foot around. She's won a free kick for her side here in a dangerous position.
Kelly Brown there with 7 caps for New Zealand. Had an impressive season at Perth last year, scoring 5 goals in 13 appearances. And of course also used to play this Phoenix side, so knows certainly a lot about these players she's up against today.
So Wellington just having the better of the recent history. But just one moment will be enough to turn this game on its head. Will it be Kelly Brown off the bench? Back on home soil. Strike is a good one. And just past the upright. Well, just hit that with swerve past Vic Essend's goal.
Great power on that one. I guess it was just slicing off to the right instead of curling inside that post.
Well, big moment here for Lily Brazendale. She makes her A-League women's debut, the latest in the Wellington Phoenix Academy production line. Can she be the hero today for Bev Priestman's side? It was on for Emma Main. The last roll of the dice for Wellington. Newcastle have made their final changes as well. So strap in for the last 9 minutes or so. Can we find a winner? We went deep into stoppage time. Season 24-25 for Wellington to get the 3 points. It was absolute heartbreak for Newcastle that day. Will we see history repeat itself today, Priscilla?
It's beautifully poised, this match, isn't it? And we'll see if any of these subs can make the difference. And Phoenix scored off a corner last game, so can they do it again here?
Go short for the first time today. Moore's delivery in towards the near post. A couple of Phoenix shirts in attendance, but Leak gets there before they are able to. And off go Newcastle, looking to spark a counter-attack. Brown's pass is overhit. Good defending, Mackenzie Barry sees it out. So they thwart a counter-attack from the visitors.
Nice to see Mackenzie Barry with the captain's armband there after CJ Bott was substituted off. Foundation player for this Phoenix side. More than 70 appearances. And although still young, she's seen as a leader in this team.
Well, they'll need all of her 72 match experience if they're to try and navigate, wrestle all 3 points today. Forget their first match against Canberra last week was a draw. For Newcastle, it was the late show, courtesy of substitute India Breyer. So many potential storylines in the final 7 minutes or so of this game, plus any stoppage time that Anna Marie Keeley.
Yeah, there's similarities with last week's game when it was 1-1, and Bev Priestman was happy with her side that they stayed resilient and had a lot of pressure from Canberra United, but withstood that. So she was happy, but also pretty frustrating that she couldn't get the 3 points, so she'd be absolutely wanting to get them here.
It's got Brazendale, who takes the defenders away. Elliott shoots from distance. Elite not needing to really make a evasive movement.
Yeah, a bit ambitious there from Elliott. She had the youngster Lily Brazendale running outside her. Probably could have picked the pass a bit earlier.
Square ball is picked off by Daisy Brazendale. Trying to link up with Lily. Brazendale's in the New Zealand under-20 side, which went away to the Women's World Cup earlier this year. Again, no relation. Straight pass finds Josie Allen, who's fouled by Mackenzie Barry, and she picks up a yellow card. Discipline will be critical, as well as concentration in the final moments, Priscilla.
Yeah, I don't think she can have too many complaints there. Perhaps just getting tired in the last 5 minutes of the match. She had a good game at the back there, but just left her leg in a little late there.
Chico. Out by Walker. So finely poised, Priscilla. What's the mindset of each of these two teams? Are they happy to settle for a point, or are they pushing for a win?
Well, I think Bev Priestman has talked about it so far, having come in as head coach, that she wants them to get that real winning mentality, but Stephen Hoyle certainly does as well, as coach of Newcastle Jets. So they came away with the 3 points in their first round match, and it was right in the final stages of it, so they might have just a little more confidence going into these final moments.
Quality just draining out of the shadows here at Porirua Park. Desperation, perhaps, for both teams, as fouls starting to creep in against the home side. This time it's Grace Jale, just inviting pressure on from the visiting Jets.
Yeah, and that's how their goal came against Canberra United in the first game for Newcastle. It was pressure from India Breyer on the back line of Canberra United, who had a good amount of possession in that home game in round one, but Newcastle just stealing it in the last minute of the game.
In the last 5 minutes, possession starting to go the way of Newcastle. There's a delivery into the penalty area. Jale wins a header. Looks more settled in that new role of hers at the base of the midfield. Able to use that physicality of hers. I wonder whether her attacking history might be tempting for Priestman to throw her forward if she is chasing the game. Towards the closing stages. Is out of the shadows of the grandstand. Go Newcastle. Needed to be sure of that challenge. Came up with all ball. Razendale's first touch is heavy and gives possession back to Newcastle. Jess Davis. 177 matches today. Davis, who gets herself in a tangle with Jale. Or Livingham, rather. And this time another tangle results in another free kick for Newcastle. Crowd can't understand it. Neither can Lara Wall, who jogs back into position. But again, Wellington just walking a tightrope here, perhaps, of referee Marie Keeley's patience.
Yeah, well, I think that one was a foul, but it was a one before that the players and fans thought that they should have gone their way. So a little bit of frustration from the home side.
Delivery up and over, and once again Jale, towering header, and away go the yellow and black of Wellington. Hearing forward is Mania Elliott. Here's the ball into Elliott's path. First touch just took her away from goal, and excellent cover defence by Claudia Chico. Perhaps could have taken it first time, Elliott.
Well, I've talked about these counter-attacks and none breaking forward. Perhaps could have passed it slightly earlier, and Mania Elliott's touch just going a little way away to make the angle a bit harder, but also good work from the cover defence.
Well, she thought about the first-time strike, didn't she? In the end, opted for security. Hesitation enough to get the cover defence across. Leet just claws that one away for another corner. 6 minutes of time to be added on. This is the same side where Elliott swung one in last season. This time Lara Wall with the repeat dose into the area. Dangerous ball, and up and away. Well, the big chance for me was on the back post. Just couldn't get a connection goal bound. It squirted across, and Elliott's volley went wide.
2 bites at the cherry there for Wellington Phoenix. Jale, I think it was, at the back post again, who couldn't put it goalward. Second
half chance for Grace Jale. Had Accuracy has been off for Wellington. Elliott snatched at a chance for the second time in a couple of moments. And just as Newcastle looked to be grinding Wellington down, off they went on a counter-attack. Tash Pryor. Her experience at the back will be needed.
Yeah, it's just about who wants it more, really, at this point. I think Stephen Hoyle, away from home with the Newcastle Jets, won't be too unhappy with a draw, but the Wellington Phoenix will, I guess, be wanting the 3 points to impress their home fans.
Off go Newcastle. Awkward. Bouncing ball needing to be dealt with. Kelly Brown's free here. Can she get a strike away? She does. And it's up and over the crossbar. Well, it broke for the New Zealand international. Just not able to keep that shot down.
Good tussle there, and a fortuitous bounce, I guess, rolling through for Kelly Brown. Substitute wanting to make an impact. She was hit with injuries a little last season for Perth, so she'll be wanting to make her mark and push for a starting spot in this Newcastle Jets side.
Pryor. Thought she was fouled there in the process. As a youngster, Razendale. Putting the Australian international under all sorts of pressure. Reputations pushed to the side by Razendale on debut. Brown once again. Still going. Kelly Brown. Can she provide the spark for Newcastle? Links the play well. Josie Allen. It was a clearance that needed to be made by Ali Walker. Newcastle player just crept up on her outside shoulder. Page wins the throw. Sense that Newcastle are the hungry of the two teams at the moment.
Yeah, Kelly Brown just showing her pace. She's well balanced, can shoot with her left or her right. She'll just want that chance back that she had moments ago, just to even test the goalkeeper in these last final moments.
Well, 1-1 is a fair result on the balance of play. There's been plenty of thrust and vigour. Not too many attempts on target. Can think of the one big save by Anna Leet. Kept her side in the game. Essen got fingertips to one late in the first half, but really it's been a game of few chances. Brown again into the 18-yard box and defended by Mackenzie Barry. Corner to navigate into the last minute of time added on we go. White shirts start to pour forward. In comes the delivery towards the near post. Essen, she almost had clean control of that, and in the end, maybe just unsure about the landing. Elected to push it out for another corner, and still Wellington defend. It was a great delivery. It was really zinged in at the near post. Right, this time opts for a loftier delivery. Bodies go down in the 6-yard box, but in the end the ball beats all of them over the byline. Wellington go direct and a half clearance. There's eventually going to be a Wellington throw. Forward comes Ali Walker. Priestman nearly on the pitch herself. But the final whistle sounds at Porirua Park. This one ends in a draw, honours even. Wellington Phoenix 1, Newcastle Jets 1. Well, Marissa van der Meer, goal scorer last week, unable to help her team to 3 points. They'll settle with the draw. Both teams remain unbeaten to the start of this A-League season, Priscilla.
Yeah, you see some smiles from the players there. They know each other well, bit of a Kiwi connection. Nice for Vlok to get her debut start, and a quality assist to set up none for the first goal. But Newcastle Jets showing plenty of fight. I guess settling in after that bye weekend last weekend to come back in and I guess take 2 points off Wellington Phoenix, if you look at it that way.
Well, Anna Lee can hold her head high. It was a top save to deny Alyssa Wynnum and secure a point for her team back across the ditch. Wellington continue to go winless at Porirua Park. It goes to 4 matches.